Dere, and welcome to the 9th video of our series History Lessons with RedWineLover17. In the last video I introduced you to the HMS Minotaur. We are now back to Tier 4 and today we are looking at the Heavy Cruiser HMS Hawkins. The HMS Hawkins got its name from Admiral Sir John Hawkins, who was one of the famous leaders of the victorious fleet against the Spanish Armada in 1588, and it is the only ship of her name. It was the lead ship of the 5 Hawkins-class heavy cruisers built for the Royal Navy during World War I, although it was not completed until 1919. The ship had a length of almost 185 meters, was almost 20 meters broad and a deep load of 6 meters draught. While accommodating 712 sailors, it reached a speed of 30 knots or 56 kilometers per hour, which matches the in-game speed. Its 7 single 191mm guns can also be found in-game, however Wargaming reduced the amount of torpedo tubes from 6 to 4. The HMS Hawkins was the flagship of the 5th Light Cruiser Squadron, assigned to the China Station until 1928. After a refit in 1929, the Hawkins was recommissioned and became the flagship of the 2nd Cruiser Squadron of the Atlantic Fleet, until she was put in reserve on 5th May 1930. However, we have still some minutes left in our video, and so Hawkins' journey continued after recommissioning in September 1932 to be the 4th Cruiser Squadron flagship on the East Indies Station, before it being reduced to reserve in 1935. Because of the London Naval Treaty, the ship had to be demilitarized between 1937 and 1938, resulting in the removal of all of her 191mm guns and above water torpedo tubes. In September 1938, the Hawkins became a cadet training ship. But she had still some gas left in the tank, and when World War II began, the HMS Hawkins got her armament back installed and was recommissioned as a heavy cruiser in January 1940 in the North America and West Indies Station. For the next year or so, Hawkins patrolled off the South American coast searching for German commerce raiders. In January 1941, it began escorting convoys off the West African coast, rescuing 9 survivors from the torpedoed oil tanker British Premier on January 3rd near Freetown, Sierra Leone. In February, the Hawkins escorted the aircraft carrier Formidable as she sailed up the East African coast to reach the Suez Canal. During this mission, the Formidable bombed the port of Mogadishu in Italian Somaliland. As the Hawkins was already near, it was transferred to Force T, which had been formed to support the British invasion of Italian Somaliland. By the way, also part of Force T was Tier 3 British aircraft carrier Hermes. Within 3 days, Hawkins captured 5 Italian merchant ships, totaling over 28,000 gross register tons. Afterwards, the heavy cruiser remained in the Indian Ocean, escorting convoys and searching for Axis commerce raiders before returning to the UK for a well-needed refit. Until May 1942, her AA armament was improved immensely, and she also received a Type 273 surface search radar. The Hawkins then returned to the Eastern Fleet and resumed convoy escort duties and patrolling for Axis commerce raiders for the next 2 years. On February 12, 1944, it had to endure its biggest defeat. During one of her escort missions, Japanese submarine I-27 torpedoed troopship SS Khedive Ismail. The HMS Hawkins, as well as destroyers HMS Paladin and HMS Petard, were tasked to cover the Colombo-bound convoy when the Japanese submarine had taken position off Khedive Ismail's port side at 1430 hours. Even though a Khedive Ismail lookout sighted I-27's periscope and raised the alarm, resulting in immediate gunfire on the submarine, Japanese commander Toshiaki Fukumura fired a spread of 4 torpedoes, 2 of which hit the troopship. Its stern was engulfed in flame and smoke, and she sank in 3 minutes. While the convoy's merchant ships scattered for safety reasons, HMS Paladin lowered lifeboats in order to rescue survivors, while Petard released depth charges, forcing I-27 to surface. The two destroyers engaged with their main batteries, and Paladin even tried to ram the submarine. However, as a B-1 submarine, I-27 was considerably larger than Paladin, and Petard's signal to abandon the maneuver came too late, resulting in a big gaping hole in Paladin's hull. I-27 submerged again and took refuge beneath the survivors, hoping that the British ships wouldn't release further depth charges. However, the destruction of the submarine took precedence over the lives of survivors, so Petard resumed the attack with depth charges and even torpedoes and shellfire, killing many people who had survived the initial sinking. The 7th torpedo destroyed I-27 after a battle of 2.5 hours, sinking with all men on board. Of 1,511 people aboard Khedive Ismail, only 208 men and 6 women survived the sinking and subsequent engagement, making it the 3rd largest loss of life from Allied shipping in World War II. All the while, HMS Hawkins was too far away to do anything useful. A few months later, Hawkins returned home to participate in the Normandy landings, bombarding coastal artillery positions with some effect. In July, Hawkins should get another refit, however these plans were cancelled in May 1945 and she was reduced to reserve. In 1947, the ship was used for target trials and was bombed by Royal Air Force Avro Lincoln bombers. Over the course of 27 days, 616 bombs were dropped on her from an altitude of 5,500 meters. However, only 29 struck the cruiser, of which 13 failed to detonate. The transfer to the British Iron and Steel Corporation in August 1947 marked the end of the ship, and it was broken up in December that year in Scotland. With that said, our video on HMS Hawkins comes to an end as well. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We'll be back with more gameplay videos soon, and next time we're gonna reach Tier 5 Heavy Cruiser HMS Devonshire. See you soon, and Dere.